really excited because tonight I get to introduce two of our newest Broncos to you. So Rita and Barry, would you come on up? So some of you had the opportunity to be involved in the search process. I don't know if many of you remember Vernon Payne and Susie Nagel-Bennett. They both retired this past year. So I had two critical vacancies in student affairs, and we hired a search firm, and we searched far and wide, and we found two amazing, talented people. So Rita Ravendran is our new AVP Dean of Students. And so just so you know what's in her portfolio, she oversees all things related to student engagement and student well-being. So Chris Sly works closely with her. Office of Student Conduct will be in her portfolio. The Health Center, the Rec Center, the Counseling Center, health promotion, all things related to well-being and to student engagement. So we are really excited to have her with us. I'm going to also introduce Barry, and once I finish introducing them, I'm going to let them tell you more about themselves, because rather than me talk about them, I thought it would be better for you to hear directly from them. Dr. Barry Olsen actually came back to the Midwest. He was originally from Minnesota, right? And has been most recently at NC State and has come to join us here and is overseeing many of the things that we refer to as auxiliaries in student affairs. So housing, dining, the Bernhardt Center, the new Student Center, and all the things that support those kinds of operations. And he has lots of experience in those areas. So we are delighted that they're both here. And just so you know, they have left their families to be here because their families are going to join them later when they get permanent housing. So you need to ask them some questions about their current housing assignment. I'm going to leave that up to you to find out where they're currently living. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to turn it over to Rita first, so she can tell you a little bit about herself. Oh, Barry's going first?
I get to go first.
Okay, Barry's going first.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, come on.
Good afternoon. Nice. Okay. As Diane said, I'm Barry Olsen. I am originally from Forest Lake, Minnesota. You know where that is? I have a better chance of people knowing where that is here than my past location, which was Raleigh, North Carolina. I grew up in Forest Lake. I went to my undergrad at the University of Wisconsin River Falls, go Falcons. And then I did my master's work, which is how I got to Michigan, at Grand Valley State University. So I was at Grand Valley for about 7 years, and then I went to NC State for about 20. So as I've told many people, I've purchased a winter coat, got gloves, it's cold, and this morning walking to work, it was about 31 degrees and I was really cold. So anyway, but I came here really because I'm excited about you all, and I'm excited about being reconnected here to Michigan, being a part of the Bronco community. Some things you don't know about me, which is that's easy. You don't know anything about me. I'm a father of 3. My oldest is 19. He is a sophomore at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. I have a freshman daughter who is at Western Carolina University. And then I have a nearly 16-year-old daughter who's a sophomore at Enloe High School in Raleigh, North Carolina. She's about to get her license. She gets to take her driver's test in a Suburban. So we're mean to her that way. I have the Prius, so the easy part. So that's my family. I've been with my partner Sarah for almost 30 years. I guess officially about 27. Some other things you don't know about me: I have 2 dogs. One is a border collie who has complete anxiety disorder. I've got a little Shih Tzu who does not have anxiety disorder, and I am a guitar player. So I play electric guitar. I've been in a band, a couple of bands. Nothing you've ever heard of, and my talents are limited. But I enjoy playing music early and playing music out. So it's exciting to be here with you all. I worked with student government at NC State, and it was so much fun. And so I look forward to opportunities to work with you all again. So thank you. I'm going to turn it over to my friend Rita.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rita Ravendran, and I'm really, really happy for this opportunity to welcome you and thank you for welcoming me to your house. So, like Barry, I'll give you a little bit of a snapshot of my so-called resume. I came to the United States as an international student way back many moons ago. Originally and also still from Singapore, and came to the University of Oklahoma. Go Sooners, which I can say because that's a totally different conference and it's not going to hurt you in any way. So we when I got my undergrad in linguistics and graduate work in higher education administration. Fell in love with higher ed and have spent the past 18 years in various institutions, small and private, big, medium, and now I'm here. Recently, I was at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor at the College of Architecture and Urban Planning as the Chief Student Affairs Officer. So, a little bit of trivia about me that you probably don't know is that I am left-handed. Any lefties here?
All right.
Yeah. All right. I also have a child. I'm a mother of one who is 11 and a half, soon to be 12. So he just started middle school. Like our pet dog, he is a very cool dude, but has anxieties that he doesn't share. And I do know that he's a little anxious about moving to Kalamazoo now that he just started middle school. So if you remember way back when you were a middle schooler, you probably know what the pushes and pulls are when you're in middle school, right? So he has that. We do have a little dog. Her name is Meadow. And my son's name is Ray. Sorry, didn't say that. But Meadow is a very anxious dog. And she is a Sheltie and an Aussie mix. And you might probably see her on Friday, hopefully. But trick or treat. I don't have any musical talents. I'm actually tone deaf. So whatever Barry plays is going to sound good to me. My favorite song is Hotel California. And my favorite band is John Bon Jovi. All right, I'm one fan. During the times when we were free and before children, we used to go on motorcycle rides. So my husband does have a motorcycle, and I love motorcycle rides. And we've gone all the way to the Upper Peninsula and all the way down to the Smoky Mountains on our motorcycle. And most recently, we went on an RV trip to Arizona. So we are quite the campers. You can't tell, but we are quite the campers, and I'm quite the rocker inside. So hope to meet all of you very soon. And don't be a stranger. If you find that I'm lost somewhere on the sidewalk, please help me find my way. Like how Alexis did just now. All right, thank you.
Yeah, ask us questions. You bet.
I'm going to first start with Senate and House. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I'll run the mic over. Otherwise, if not, we can start going to Cabinet. And once again, please say your name before you ask a question.
My name is Matt Pruitt. I'm the American Association of Executives House of Representatives. The most important question here, what's the housing situation?
What's the housing situation? Oh, okay. All right.
You left the podium there.
Oh, the housing, we didn't say it, yeah.
Okay, good question. So our housing situation is this. Yes. So Rita and I came almost a month ago, and yes, and so we moved in that weekend, and we are both living in a residence hall, different residence halls, but connected. So Rita's a part of the Camp Ackley group, and I'm a part of the Camp Schilling group. So we are Ackley Schilling, so we get a chance to walk to work together. It's fun. It's like we're going to summer camp, and we walk across the road, and then we walk home at night. So that's our deal. It's a lot of fun. So we're both in staff apartments there, and since there's nobody there, it's kind of fun. But it is a little creepy at night because there's nobody there. So I sometimes joke that if I look down the hallway, it's almost like The Shining. where if I'm right, it was a big wheel. I'm afraid I might see some ghosts, but I haven't yet. There have been no ghosts. So. There you do. There you do. You're welcome.
And there was one question here too, I think. No, no question?
Actually, you can hand up and I'll go to Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I had the pleasure of sitting next to the banquet. My question is actually for you. What is your favorite John Bon Jovi song?
Oh. Wow. Air guitar and everything. Pretty good. Nice.
So you say actually silly?
Yes.
It's really not that scary. I said it barely, I mean, at night, yeah, it's nice to walk the hill, but, how do y'all like cooking? How y'all feel walking down into the, dorm area and going to eat? I used to hate that, having to cook in the little area, so if y'all want to eat, do y'all have to cook y'all something? Do y'all go to the Valley Dining Center? Like, what y'all do?
I eat lunch at the dining centers, mostly at Bernhardt, and then at Valley Dining. I do not eat dinner. I eat cereal for dinner. Therefore, I do not cook.
And I do cook. I cook almost every night. So we do have a little kitchen space in our apartment. So I don't mind it. I like it. It's kind of relaxing for me. What's hard is going from a family of 5 down to soup for 1. It's really challenging. So every meal I have ends up being like 3 meals.
Feed the other students.
Yeah, well, look, I would. I'll have to figure some plan out to bring food out to y'all. That's great. But I love to cook, so I really cook out. That's my mom.
So I'm about to find you, so if you see me as I'm going away, then,
Okay. You're looking for food.
Okay.
Got it. It's a deal.
Okay, I can give you cereal as well.
Okay.
Okay, I have like old people cereal. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
So like flax seed and.
Oh. I have special K with strawberries.
Yeah, my name's Alicia. My question is, have you guys been able to do anything fun off campus yet?
Fun off campus. Yeah. I've done a bunch of stuff. So I haven't been in this area for 2 decades. So I have a lot of friends that are in Grand Rapids. So far I am a biker. I have to mention that. I bike a lot. And so bicycling, not motorcycle. Motorcycles scare the heck out of me. So when I bike 2 different locations. I've done the Kalamazoo River Valley Trail, which did not end well because I had skinny tires on the bike and I did it and I fell down. So I changed my tires and I now can ride on the Calhaven Trail. So I did that. I did that. I went, hung out with some friends in an RV park a couple of weeks ago. And I have driven, or I went and saw I've seen a couple of live music acts. I went to Pawpaw Brewing this past weekend and saw one of our IT friends perform in a band. So yeah, I do all sorts of cool stuff.
I haven't done any cool stuff yet because on weekends I go home to my family so that I can cook and eat food for them. So not yet, but I definitely want to do some. I have been told by many people that I meet who are not in television that this is a fantastic place to raise a family and also to live. So yes, looking forward to it. We want to do a lot of winter sports that we have deprived ourselves from doing, but I know we have no choice. Yeah.
All right, I think we got time for 1 or 2 more questions if you have any.
All right.
Hi, my name is Minka. So what is the best thing about Western that you love to watch?
What's the best thing
Best
about
thing about Western that you love to
Western.
You want to go? Go, please.
I think the best thing about universities in general are the students. And the best thing that attracted me to Western was really the way the staff and the faculty on the search spoke about how much they cared about students and how much students were part of the equation. Okay? So to me, I have not experienced anything yet that is contrary to what was shared. And I don't think I will. So
Yeah, you know, I've been doing this for 26 years. And I can tell you that every day, well, not every day is not always great, but I will tell you that, that at Western, I just love the excitement. And I've loved the fact that, that you all really care deeply about the institution and each other. I really dig that. And that's not to say that my past institutions didn't have that. But I think that there's something about the area and there's something about this institution that just is just really deep and meaningful. And I totally agree. When I came to campus, I immediately felt like I was home. And that's a really cool feeling. And I hope that you get the chance to have that feeling with your first big gig, first job. You know, there will certainly be challenges we'll work through, but it has just been great to start getting to know you all. And again, we've been here for just under a month. And so each and every day I learn more and more about the institution and about all the players. You know, one thing that sentimentally, there's a guy in the back of the room that I have a strong connection with, and that's Chris Lai. You all may not know this, but as an undergrad at Grand Valley State University, Chris Lai and I worked together. He was on our Residence Hall Association group, and I think he was on staff too, and Chris did all the things, and he was just so involved. And so it's been awesome to be able to follow him and then to come back here and to see him speak at your banquet and to all those things. Those are the things that professionally you're like, gosh, I never get this. So selfishly, that's one of my favorite things.
We have time for one more question. If there's a senator or rep particularly that wants to ask anything.
Hi, I'm Dakota. Now I don't know if this question was asked because in truth, I was reading the book and not paying attention. What do the two of you bring to the table in these positions that can fill the gap left by your predecessors?
I think all. Sure. I think the biggest thing that I have done on other campuses and will continue to do here is to bring you access. Access to me, transparency, and then also the ability to co-create. I know those are all catchphrases, those are wow, but I truly, truly believe in them. And all that is only possible if we can build relationships. So the onus I throw back on you is to make sure you find every opportunity that you can get to jump onto committees, to be involved, and to build the relationships so that we can provide you those things. Okay?
Like Rita, relationships are so important to me as well. And my strengths, 4 of my 5 top strengths are relationship focused. And so that's where I'm in my zone. I can bring you solid public speaking. I can bring you an engaged, enlightened, old guy perspective that can tell you how things were done on other campuses. I built a lot. In my previous life at NC State, I built about 200, well, let's see, ended up being about $300 million worth of property, built and renovated. So 2 of those were 2 big projects worth about 200 million, and then we did a lot of other work. So I've got a lot of kind of big school experience, but not so big that it can't apply here. Doing a lot of really neat things with the construction industry. Of course, you're all like, great, big deal. I don't care about that piece. But my biggest thing is just the connectivity. You know, like Rita, I mean, I think in our role, we can be easily relegated to to phones and spend our whole life over there. But that's not where we thrive. We thrive here. So the best way to connect with us and to learn about what we can bring to the table is invite us to the table. And I would say that for any administrator. Then it's the administrator's job to say no thank you. If you don't invite us, you'll never know. So bring us in and we will be engaged. You know, I will guarantee that the three of us, you will definitely see us again, and not just out of obligation. We definitely want to do this, but we draw energy from you. And so the more engaged and excited you are, the more engaged and excited we are. But we definitely want to be those resources here for you. And that doesn't mean everything's going to be a love-in. We're not all going to drink Sunny D every day and like high five and it'll be perfect. There will be struggles, certainly. But the truth is that we're here to support you, the students of Western Michigan University. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all for coming in and introducing yourselves. All right, moving into our next item on the agenda, we have a message from former President Worthams.
Served as your Speaker Pro Tem in 1993. Hi there, WSA. My name is Dave Worthams, and I had the honor to serve as your Speaker Pro Tem in 1993, as your Student Body President in 1994, and came back to serve as your Allocations Chair in 1998. You could say I am a perfect example of someone who fully embraced the idea that 90% of what you learn at Western takes place outside of the classroom. I want to congratulate you on 100 years. 100 years of being the student union. Let me kind of hit that again for you. For almost a century now, you have been the voice of the students at Western Michigan University. 19,000 students are looking to you to make their lives a little bit easier. And what an enormous responsibility that is. And I guess that's where my piece of advice, if I had any to give, would stem from. As you go into meetings with President Montgomery or with Vice President Anderson or with any of the deans and professors at Western, if you can ask yourself the question, what can I do right now to improve the student condition on Western? Then you're going to go a long, long ways, and you're going to fulfill the charge that the students have given you to be as part of their student government. If your actions and your conversations with administrators can lead to lower tuition and fees, to more affordable books, to increased accessibility to services all throughout campus, then those students who are just looking to get through the day and take another step closer to that cap and gown that they'll wear at New Auditorium, they will thank you. They'll be grateful because it's something you did. And so always ask yourself that question. What can I do at this moment in time as a person who is responsible for 19,000 people? What can I do to make their lives better? And if you do that, then everyone who's come before you as a leader in student government, anyone who served as WSA president in the past, today, and tomorrow, then they will say, you've done everything that we've expected of you. And so keep doing what you're doing, Broncos. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep making things better for your fellow students. Because if you do that, years from now, when you've got a high school senior that you're scheduling a campus visit for, you know that you will have left your son or your daughter or your niece or your nephew or whoever the best university in the entire world. And because of that, you can say without a doubt that it is always a great day to be a Bronco. Thanks for everything that you do. Congratulations on 100 years. God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Go Broncos.
Thank you to former student body president Worthams. Next up, we have communication from University Advancement. I did link it into our agenda, so you should be able to all access that. I have email here that I got from Renee Pearl. Right now, there's a university fundraising campaign sent out to campus that was sent out in an email to you all on Monday. Last Monday, excuse me. Basically, they're trying to find projects and initiatives for potential funding during the campaign, and it's supposed to be built around 3 themes. There's learning and fulfillment, health and wellness, and place and belonging. If you go to the link there, you have your chance to make a suggestion to them on what we think money should be spent on in our university to make a lasting impact, something that'll help benefit them and you over the next 10+ years. So if you have some great ideas, University Advancement would love to hear them. It doesn't matter the price tag, it just matters that you have the idea. All right, at this point, we're into a 5-minute break. So feel free to get up, use the restroom, get a drink of water, chat and socialize. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Like one that's like just has us on it.
I got you.
Trying to copy.
I'm sorry, I answered so far.
Don't worry about that.
I know that's right.
Exactly. Like,
All right.
they come back to California for Thanksgiving.
You, Senator.
This is my first meeting.
Really?
I'm part for a student organization. I think it's
What,
the Women's Business Network in the business college. And are you?
I'm chemical.
Okay, nice. So is that your major?
And you're in business, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a sales assistant, marketing, and
Are you going to pursue a law degree or?
yeah, so I want to go to the law, so I could do sales law, which is just a bunch of contracts, which sounds really lame. But I really like all of that. I'm taking a few political science courses. They're kind of persuading me to go more criminal law than marketing law. Because it's wherever the wind travels.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't know what a law is. I'm sure if you get one, you do a lot.
You do a lot with it, yeah.
I have no idea. No idea.
Really? I do the 1v2 time.
Are you from, California?
I'm not. I'm from the east side of the state, so I'm from Saginaw.
Oh,
How about you?
I'm from.
Okay.
Are you, when you're?
I'm a senior. Technically, I'm supposed to be going into making years, but I did do a long time because I have enough credits to be senior. It's gonna take me a year and a half. I was like, right, I don't quite honestly, I never toured campus. The only reason I clicked on that website was to see their my classmates. So I never looked at a picture of the school, I never looked into them. I saw that their sales major was #1 in the nation. And I'll go here. I've been like #1 in electrical. And so I was like, I'll go there. And it was conveniently at the time, the same amount of distance between my mother and my father's house. So I know that the same papers that not the case anymore. I've ended up falling in love because of the different hotels and then they drum in. Did you choose Western because you lived here, or did you explore other options?
I explored a lot of options.
That's really scary.
I didn't have a car.
I have no idea where October was. Just go on.
So I went to Cape Christian. Really like right across the street.
Yeah. What's your step? What's your step?
My parents were like,
And all.
I'm gonna be able to get to a car, so the groceries go to the business. So if I went to Western, like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, everybody thinks that. Okay, this gotta make it great.
But they were really good. I mean, all their engineering stuff is really good. That's what I wanted to do. I looked at a couple of places. But like really came down there. That's a lot. I love it. I have a car now, so.
Yeah.
So from my parents, it's like 15 minutes.
It can be so much hope.
Yeah, I really wanted to go off to college. That'd be with my
All right, everyone, I'm going to call this meeting back to order. Just wrap up whatever conversation you're in right now, and then we'll go on.
Chelsea.
All right, moving into old business, we have an update on the confirmation of the Vice President for Rules, Bylaws, and Administration from President Moritz, who appears to have stepped outside. No worries. All right, we'll come back to that then. New business, the WSA Affinity Month Recognition Bill. All right, where's my mouse? There it is. So this is a bill that you should have all received in addition to the email that got sent out at 1:47 p.m. today that was supposed to go out at noon. I apologize for that. This bill is for WSA to officially recognize and celebrate the affinity group months that have been recognized across the nation. I will note that it says, well, officially recognize and celebrate them. I didn't give any examples of how we would celebrate these months. I really want that to be a whole group discussion, whether it's we put out a post, whether we acknowledge it in our meetings. So we'll start with questions. Do you guys have any questions on this bill?
Could you read your
Yeah. So the bill is for WSA to officially recognize and celebrate all falling affinity months. As some of you may know, right now there's work in progress to have affinity group flags, for example, the Pride flag being flown in June around campus. As those talks are still occurring, I figured that the best way we could recognize those individuals and their groups for now is in our own organization. So I looked up all of their respective months and put them on a chart and make sure that WSA recognizes them and celebrates those months during their time. So do you have any questions?
What is the thought behind making this bill sustainable and not just like a piece of paper that WSA puts in it? Like, I know you said the discussion on how it's implemented is fluid and can be discussed based on, WSA to WSA. But I guess, is there any follow through in who would be overseeing the implementation of these months? Any vice president, leadership member that would be doing this on the right?
So I did not write that into any specific role. That's still up for discussion. If you want to, give it to, say, University Pride or something like that, or we could leave it to the speakers of each chamber to recognize during meetings. But like I said, depending on how we choose to celebrate it, affects who's going to recognize it, charge that effort. So that was not specifically written in, it's a, you can't necessarily put it in the bylaws because it doesn't run with our organization as how we operate per se. But my goal is that hopefully by having a university bill instead of, like you said, some scrap piece of paper, ensures that it'll be continued for generations to come. Is there any other questions? Dakota has one back, and then I'll go to her.
I see this as a university bill. Have we tried the memorandum of understanding route already?
It does not require memorandum of agreement. It's only internal WSA.
Oh, okay.
That's my.
So, since it's a university bill and that, well, it's not a university bill, but, since it's internal with us, how would we ensure that this is enforced at the proper level?
You elaborate on your question a bit more?
So what I'm just asking is like, how would we like just promote more awareness on like what exactly is being enforced?
Yeah, sure. So similar to my response to Lila, I didn't write anything in particular yet because during the discussion period, I wanted to make sure that we can discuss how we best choose as a group to celebrate and recognize these months, and then that would then fall under whoever is responsible for it. So hopefully we'll figure that out during our discussion period. Are there any other questions? Alicia has one in back.
How did you choose these months?
I went on the national calendar and picked all of them off of it. So, do any senators or representatives have questions? Right, hearing and seeing none, then we can move into discussion. Is there somebody I'd like to make the first discussion point?
Perfect. So in terms of how, I guess, enforcement or what I personally would like to see out of this is maybe the educational piece at our meetings. If we're gonna talk about this, I think it's important that people actually know the month about, maybe history about it. It doesn't have to be anything super, the whole meeting by any means, but at least an education.
Anybody else have a discussion point? Oh, yeah.
Personally, I would like to see WSA have some potential collaborations with other organizations during those months to promote like educational seminars or events in some way, just so it's sometimes a post can feel performative, and I think making sure this doesn't feel performative is really beneficial.
So would you like to propose an amendment to include a therefore statement that says that WCA would be encouraged to collaborate with organizations during their respective affinity month?
Yes, I would.
All right, then, motion. Motion to amend the bill as it's currently written. So therefore, be it further resolved, it was WSA will be encouraged to collaborate with other RSOs, their respective. So at this point, amendment has been proposed. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, at this point, we go into questions and discussions just on the amendment, not on the bill as a whole. Does anybody have any questions or discussion points on this amendment as it stands?
I think that the educational piece should fall under the Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion and implementing diversity and inclusion within WSA.
That's not in this amendment at the moment.
Can we add?
Chris, if I'm not mistaken, we got rid of friendly amendments, did we not?
Would it be easier to just make a new amendment?
Yeah. probably be easier to make a new one.
Your discretion, so, yes, last year we did not use friendly amendments for a lot of it.
I'll allow friendly amendments in the joint sessions. So,
And then for further context, we limited.
right,
Also historically. Real quickly then, for context, a friendly amendment is just a quicker way to make a change. So right now we have a formal amendment on the that you can see it in there. Bylaws on another rule that bylaws say, hey, I want to make that one little change. You second it to somebody else. We need to do that change. That happens and we're rolling. And that makes sense to everybody. And that's parliamentary.
so what did you want your friendly amendment to read?
You can change the wording since I'm bad at wording things, but basically that this responsibility to collaborate with other RSOs would fall under the Vice President of Diversity. How do we feel about the responsibility to facilitate collaboration with other RSOs?
Sure, it's your amendment. Responsibility to facilitate collaboration. All right, so now this friendly amendment has been proposed. Is there a second? Does the author agree to this change? Great, it's not part of the full amendment. Now we go back into discussion just on everything in red. Are there any
As amended now.
Sure, as amended, it says, therefore, be it further resolved, WSA will be encouraged to collaborate with other RSOs during the respective affinity month. The responsibility to facilitate collaboration with RSOs will fall under the WSA Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion. Are there any other questions or discussion points regarding just this amendment? Griffin has one. Can you pass the mic to Griffin, please? Thank you.
So, with who was working with the RSO's Vice President Diversity, would they be facilitating or co-facilitating like any events with the RSOs that would be surrounding the affinity months?
That's a question for the author, I believe, the amendment. So. Thank you, Chris.
I think they should be responsible for helping to organize. Whether or not they're directly involved in the facilitation of the event could be up to interpretation between them and the organization, in my viewpoint. Does that answer the question?
Are there any other questions or discussion points on just the amendment? All right, hearing and seeing none, we can go into voting on this amendment. Well, I guess we can just do it tonight, so consent can be called. The consent's been called. Is there any opposition? All right, hearing and seeing none, this amendment has been adopted. All right, is there any other discussion or question, or discussion only on the bill as an entity? Go ahead.
I'm Mohammed, and I'm the Vice President of the Persian Student Organization. And the bill, I think some RSOs will be left out because the children's organization has no month or any
So what?
children.
Ah, got it.
And I noticed that you have Arab student organization or Arab Heritage Month or a month that are very specific to mention, but for some, I feel like some Arab and some nationalities, like that.
Okay. So for reference, like I said earlier, every month that I pulled out of here came off of the nationally recognized ones. January and August, as you can see, are empty. I did do my best because October is Global Diversity Awareness Month. If anyone looks on the websites, on the internet, October, I believe, is like Filipino American Month, German American Month, French American Month, German American Month. It's like all these different other ones, so they just classify all of it as Global Diversity Awareness Month. So my hope was that if it doesn't fall under one of the other ones, it would fall under there. If you feel that's not sufficient, and there's an area of the globe that's being left out, you could make an amendment to January or August. But from the way I wrote it, I personally felt this was the best way, but I'm obviously open to feedback.
Yeah, I think we could add an amendment to specify what global diversity awareness month mean or each nation or country.
So you would like to propose an amendment to clarify what Global Diversity Awareness Month is? Okay, how would you like your amendment to read?
What did you think when you wrote the global diversity?
I used it as any group not specified in the, or that people say do not fall under any of the other categories will be recognized and celebrated in October.
I agree with that, if you want to write that down.
February through July.
I suggest like.
Yeah,
Something like therefore being for the result, what was the name of the month again? World Diversity, Heritage, Global Heritage Diversity Month stands to represent all affinity groups not explicitly recognized in other months.
Is that better?
I think the which field should probably. So like, Global Diversity Awareness Month stands to recognize and celebrate any affinity group that is not explicitly celebrated in other months of the year.
All right, so the amendment as we have written is therefore be it further resolved, Global Diversity Awareness Month stands to recognize and celebrate any affinity group that is not explicitly celebrated during other months of the year. At this point, we can move into questions and discussion just on this amendment. Anyone got anything?
more wording thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be celebrated or recognized, because I don't know if like, if we're not doing a celebration, yeah, for this wording.
I just use recognize and celebrate because that's at the top of the bill. So if you want to make a proposal, no, you can't, you're not a member of legislature. But there's a legislator who'd like to propose a friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment to say what Alexis just said.
Well, what do you want to
To read.
To change celebrated to recognize. If you actually.
So what you're saying is to eliminate celebrate.
Yes.
The second celebrate.
No, it's the second one.
The second one.
Explicitly not like.
Acknowledge, or even like, you know.
Probably not acknowledged, that is not explicitly not acknowledged during other months of the year.
Can you just like right click it and see what's
Under the table, raise of hands, who likes not recognized?
That is distinguished.
Oh, distinguished, that sounds more formal.
With your friendly amendment, what word would you like?
Consensus on acknowledged before I say it in the microphone. We like acknowledged.
All right, is there a second to changing it to acknowledge? Does the author agree?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so now we've changed the proposed amendment to read. Therefore, be it further resolved, Global Diversity Awareness Month stands to recognize and celebrate any affinity group that is not explicitly acknowledged during other months of the year. So, are there any questions or comments on the amendment as a whole now?
I have a question. So this bill is just for us in WSA, correct? Therefore, for this amendment in particular, since there are groups that are not explicitly acknowledged, is it on the WSA's responsibility to reach out to those groups or for those groups to reach out to us?
How do you guys feel about that?
I would say, a possible option would be to have all those organizations obviously register, we have a house, to celebrate them. If we don't take that route, then it's hard for us to know, so I would then say that they have to reach out to us, and say they want to celebrate that month, but like I said, we have a house, if they're registered in the house, then we can easily reach out to them, if they're not under it.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any other questions or discussion points on the bill as a whole? Or excuse me, just on this amendment? Oh. Thank you, Alicia, I appreciate it.
I can't really make suggestions on that. I'm pretty sure, but I just wanted to bring up the point that the wording of, this is just a WSA thing, that the wording could be cleared up a little bit. I personally feel as though global diversity stands to, these are affinity groups and not necessarily cultural groups, so it's not necessarily just people from different parts of the globe. I personally think a better wording for that would be universal diversity, so that it is not looking just at people from different cultures or areas, but it is looking at people with different affinity groups that aren't necessarily related to location.
Okay, thank you for bringing that suggestion up. Just so you all know, global diversity is the national term for it. If we want to change it for this purpose, we could. There would need to be a motion from the legislature.
If nobody wants to make a new holiday?
It's a legacy. Not hearing any motion on the floor.
Motion to move the question.
Um,
If that's possible.
you want to vote to approve the amendment? Yeah. All right, so now gets complicated, right? Everyone's okay to get to for a moment. When we move to previous question, we have to go into a vote to vote on whether we want to vote on approving the amendment. Okay? We're going to take a vote and.
So this for clarity, explain what a yes vote means, what a no.
Yes, so a yes vote. So a yes vote means that you want to move into voting on approving this amendment or not. A no vote means you want to stay on discussion and questions keep going. So that being said, the motion has been made to move to the previous question. Is there consent? Oh, consent cannot be called.
Sorry, I'm calling out.
Because then you could have consent in opposition to.
If you have a second, you can go right.
Right, so the motion was made, was it seconded? Seconded. Now we go into voting. Is there consent? Consent has been called. Is there any opposition?
What are we, this is for changing global diversity, correct?
No, this is to go into voting to approve this amendment. Is there any opposition?
What you're always saying is you unanimous or, yeah, you unanimously agree, don't want to talk about it anymore, you're ready. Trying to slow it down. I'm talking about it.
Hearing and seeing no opposition, we can move to vote on the amendment. If you're voting in favor, you want to approve it. If you're voting to deny it, the amendment is struck with the bill. We just move right into voting that. So is there consent on the amendment? Consent has been called. Any opposition? Hearing and seeing none, the motion is approved. Unanimous consent. Oh. And this amendment is added to the bill as it stands. All right, is there any other discussion points on the bill as a whole? Yeah, Lila.
Motion to table the discussion.
Motion to table the discussion. Yes, you need a caveat.
So the next Senate and then House perspective.
I think like 10 minutes left to do. 9 minutes.
The meeting goes until 6:30.
I mean, I've got more amendments. I guess that was the point, that there was one more thing that I thought of. I didn't remember.
Oh, so you turn off the mic, that mic for real quick. Okay, so there's been a motion made to table the agenda, thank you, table the bill until next Senate meeting. Is there a second for this? Hearing no second, that motion fails, and we'll continue on. Is there any discussion points on this bill as a whole? Yes, Lila.
I think there needs to be a Garrett before results statement to have this revisited every year as things change.
So you'd like to, are you making a motion then?
Motion to add an amendment that says, therefore, be it resolved. Insert name of bill here.
Yeah.
Be revisited academically yearly, like an academic year, every academic year, by the Senate and House for the joint session.
To do what?
To ensure accuracy of each month's celebration and acknowledgement.
forgive my typing skills, but otherwise.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to have it just be the first joint session of the academic year.
Right, is there a second to that friendly amendment? All right, second, is the author agree?
Yes.
Okay, now we move into discussion on this amendment. Are there any questions or discussion points on? All right, so now it reads, then we say, Infinity Month's recognition university bill will be revisited each academic year at the first joint session of the legislature to ensure accuracy of each month's celebration and acknowledgement. Do you have any questions or discussion points on this proposal or amendment? Hearing and seeing none, we can go into, oh, sorry, Daniel.
I just have like a quick thing, maybe like for additions, like maybe there's a holiday that's added, like further on. Like, maybe it's like, no. I mean, is that kind of like part of that?
I think that's what
Is
it's
that
like.
implied?
That's the intent. So we revisit
Oh,
it
okay.
and then we can update it.
All right, never mind, I'm good then.
Yeah, I was gonna say he does have a valid point, because then they have to wait until the next joint session of the legislature of the next academic year to amend it.
No, you can amend the bill at any time. This is just requiring they have to look at it first. They can revisit it at any time.
Well, I'm the president, I didn't know that, but thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or discussion points on this amendment? And hearing and seeing none, we can go into voting. We're voting only on this amendment. Is there consent? Consent been called. Any opposition? Hearing and seeing none, that passes. Right now, we go back into discussion on the bill as an entity. Any questions, discussion points? All right, hearing and seeing none, we can go into voting. Is there consent to approve this bill? Consent to call into any opposition? Hearing and seeing none, the bill passes as written. Alrighty, so thank you all very much. You can continue to try to improve its diversity. One excellent way to do it. Thank you all for your support on this. Moving to the next piece of new business is the campus team breakout discussion. Houston. All right. We can do, is there a motion to amend the agenda to limit it to 10 minutes instead of 15? Motion to amend it to 10 minutes instead of 15. Is there a second?
Second.
Second has been called. Is there consent? Consent has been called. Any opposition? Hearing and seeing none. All right. So the purpose of this session is kind of going back to what former President, oh boy, sorry, Wortham, thank you, was saying that this is our chance to leave our impact and our legacy on this university. So you can come back, whether you have kids, grandkids, nephews, whatever, nieces, and show them something that you did to improve our university. So we're trying to use this time. You can sit at your table, you can move to other tables, but sit at your table or with a group of people and just kind of discuss what are some things that you guys have seen on campus. What are some things that you guys want to see changed or improved upon? We're going to give you guys like probably 5 to 7 minutes to discuss this, and then we're going to share out with the group. This is your chance to kind of find problems on our, not necessarily find problems, but recognize things that could be better on Western's campus and in our campus community. So feel free to go and discuss with your tables. If you're at a table with only 2 or 3 people, feel free to move to a larger table. So, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Megan. Haley.
I thought that was a really good idea. I don't know why we don't do that.
Yeah, usually does like country flags. Like if the flag falls, they like rotate country flags each month. Or just about each month, but I think it'd be cool if we could all take a break.
Right, yeah.
But I also like even at work, you know, there's a lot of like the road that takes you there. Oh, yeah, the one you feel like, ooh. For the second one
They have heavily involved, so I've literally never not yet. I'm involved in so I'm hearing about these things, even though like, they don't want anybody. Yeah. I'm an aviation student, so I don't spend a ton of time out of Battle Creek right now, but I will next semester. Because I finally get to go out there. And somehow it's weird. My first semester there, but it's been 2 years. She's my roommate, so. But I would really like to see like the academic colleges like show off their accomplishments more, I guess, to like central campus rather than like just in their academic college. Because we can preach everything that we've done out of Battle Creek, but no one's gonna know. So this social like Instagram only goes so I really like to see some kind of like newsletter almost, like I don't know if we would put it together, but like accomplishments of like all the different, or like I can't really
You gotta do a twin soak, you know.
So you're sitting in the bathroom and you're just like, I got that stuff. Yeah, because like not a lot of students read like the Western Herald, so I'd say there's something there, but like not a lot of students read. Like, yeah, and you can get millions of emails from Dr. Bot and Experience WU and everything, but who actually sits down and reads it? Because honestly, I get one every other day and it just spam. I'm just like, I get them, and if I know there's something coming up, that's when I look at them. But not often.
All right, everyone, bringing it back up front. I'd love to hear any suggestions or ideas that your table came up with. We'll start with Senator Davis.
So one of the things that we talked about was we'd love to see some kind of like newsletter almost, whether it's like an email or like social media or something that like, okay, thank you. That recognizes all the different colleges like accomplishments from the month, because I only know things about like, my academic college, and the only reason I know anything outside of it is because of like this. So if we can kind of bring everyone's like accomplishments together and like broadcast that, you get to see what else is going on across campus, or like do something with it throughout the center of campus, like posters or something.
Awesome, that's a great idea.
Because we're all stuck like inside of our academic colleges, and that's great and everything, but
Right.
you want to know what's going on. So
Cabinet members, I'm encouraging you guys to kind of listen in and to what these suggestions are. For example, I mean, you could reach out to Alicia or Bo and start building connections with Dr. Anderson and Provost Bott.
yeah.
They would probably be the best ones to talk about on these issues. But I mean, we have a memorandum of agreement, so if you want to take that proposal up officially and work on that, I highly encourage you to do so. Thanks for that suggestion. Dakota?
So I don't know if you guys knew about the new students from fall 2021, the international student fee for each semester from $25 went up to $750. It was a 3,000% increase, and there was no reason for it. We were talking about that, and I thought I should mention that hopefully for next year.
It's like highway robbery.
For new students starting in fall 2021, $25, $750 per semester. Per semester.
So,
I'm upset.
thank you very much, Dakota. Thank you much for sharing that. Once again, I would recommend either reaching out to Bo over here, who's the Provost Bott, she is the Chief Financial Officer of our university, or Vice President Daniel Garrison, VP for Finance Business Relations. He might be able to reach out to Jan Vanderclay. She is in charge of finance, Vice President for Finance Business Relations at the university level. So those could be two great points of contact to discuss and start talking why did it happen, and what can we do about it.
I'm the VP for Student Affairs, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm taking notes on all this, and I'll talk about all of it to Dr. Anderson next time I meet with her.
Awesome, thank you. Let's hear like one, maybe two more tables concerns. We got one over here, and then I'll go to you, all right?
So we were actually talking, and she mentioned something really interesting, that the other campus, like the engineering campus, sometimes feels isolated from main campus. In terms of like student organizations and stuff like that. And I kind of had an idea of maybe there'd be like something just at like the engineering campus to try to like maybe like another like.
See, like the soft office, like the student organization center.
Soft office?
Like a hub or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a branch, I guess.
Yeah, just like make them like, 'cause that's awful to be like isolated from like your own main campus. I don't know.
Personally, I can relate with that. I'm an aviation student. We're out in Battle Creek. So we get that feeling of disconnected from main campus. From a WSA perspective, this year, our cabinet has been traveling to every single college for our cabinet meetings. We've been inviting those colleges' RSOs to show up and talk to us like, hey, what are your concerns? From a university perspective, that'd probably be another Dr. Anderson question. And I'd even recommend maybe talking directly with Chris on that one. I know students in our colleges have felt disconnected as long as I've been at this university. My freshman year, there was a bill to do like a student art gallery that they have out at Richmond Center. The deans would come and select art to move to their college campuses, and that's the first step. And the pandemic hit, and that never happened. So there have been efforts in the past that we trying to revitalize those. I really like that idea though. So thanks for reaching out to Professor Dr. Anderson.
So we're in this like weird post-pandemic, transitory era where we're all like glued to our electronics still, but we're still trying to go to classes and stuff like that. And the biggest problem that I'm running into is this is something that I'm working personally for my RSO because the marching band practice lot across from Lawson. And there is zero Wi-Fi out there and it makes working really hard. But I would love it if there was some way to get like a service map where we can see where all the weak points are across this and maybe work on something.
Yeah, I like that idea. Person to reach out to probably be Daniel again, Vice President of Finance and Business Relations. If you want to connect with Jan Vanderclay, she oversees facilities management at the university. That falls under Chris.
I would go with OIT.
OIT first.
There. Arnold Taylor.
Arnold Taylor.
Or Bigger Home.
Yeah, I'm currently talking with Arnold.
Yeah, you're right there.
You're on the right track, yeah.
What was the location you said?
The parking lot across the street from the Lawson Center. That's where the practice is. We have administrators and staff that are out there trying to work with that. Isolate this.
Thank you all for your efforts. I hope you're kind of come up with some ideas. Oh, that is right. Dr. Anderson was right. I hope you guys are all come up with some ideas, and I highly encourage you to reach out to anyone on cabinet if you were unable to share them at this point. We're here to support you and lift you guys up. So for you guys and gals, you friends, everyone. So if you have something that you think is important and needs to be addressed on campus, please reach out to us. Going to the next thing is the Omani Students Association collaboration request. I would invite them to come up to the podium. More comfortable speaking there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Hello everyone, I'm Anna, the president of the Omani Students Association. We are planning to celebrate the event on the 12th of November for a remarkable day in Omani's history, the Oman National Day. During this event, we plan to carry out a ceremony in which we will serve traditional Omani dishes, have competition, perform some of the traditional Omani dances, and present a presentation to show our country's history. At the moment, we are expecting a total of 70 students. The event will be available to the public, so we expect more people to show up as in the previous year. We had around 60 American students who attended the event. Therefore, we need to provide enough food for everyone. The event will also present our great culture to all students from around the world. Therefore, all the students will get the chance to engage with our language and culture. So now I will move the mic to them.
So hello everyone, I'm Fatima again. So for this event, we have many purposes for WU and WSA as overall. So the main purpose for this event is to show the cultural representation of our home country, Oman. And I believe that many people don't know where Oman is. So does anyone of you guys know where Oman is? Yeah, we do. Okay, that's great, but we needed to explain where our country is by saying always near Dubai, near Dubai, near Dubai. So we always say this, and people didn't know where Oman is. They only know that there's a country near Dubai. So by this event, which is for our National Day, we want to celebrate and show people how our country birthed as we see it now, as how it was loved and how it came today. This event actually will aim to help WMU students to socialize with us, with the Omani Student Association, to communicate with each other, to communicate with all the other students from different parts of the world as different and many international students in the university, for those who will be attending the event. And also, we will help all Broncos to get engaged globally and make friendships from all different cultures. So we can, by this event, which is our national day, show people what is Oman, how it came today, and why we are here. So I will give you more explanation about this event and how we gonna help every part of it to represent our country. So this event which will be held for hours on the 20th of November, the food must be a break to socialize between students. But actually, it is not only to talk or to give them food for this event, it is more to show them the hospitality of Oman, or how we treat our guests, or how we talk with them. So this actually will give us the opportunity to build a bond with all the cultures here at WMU, and to show all the Americans what is Oman. So actually, what we are facing right now, that due to the economic situation and due to COVID stuff, our country, our ministry and embassies, they can't give us funds right now to celebrate this event because of the things that I said previously. So we already worked on that. We did many small businesses together to get funds and to do this event. So now I will move to my friend, the financial coordinator of our OSA, and she will explain more about this.
Hi everyone, my name is Sabah and I'm going to talk about the expenses. So first of all, we're going to have the advertising and promotion expenses. So we're going to need to advertise, such as we're going to need posters, flyers, and stuff like that to show people what the event is about, which is the National Day. So we're going to need posters, and we're going to need invitation cards to invite people. The Omanis, they will receive the message through Insta Snap, or you guys also can see that, but the other people are going to need invitation cards. And with each invitation card, we're going to give them roses to like keep it a mystery and show them what the National Day is about. And we're going to need logo prints for posters and flyers. So that's for the advertising and promotion expenses. And for the rented expenses, right? We're going to need the theater decorations. Theater decorations such as the flowers, balloons, table covers, small Oman flags, and WMU flags to show collaboration between WMU and Oman. So we're going to need that too. And the tablecloths around the theater, and we're going to need the traditional music instruments. So Oman is known for the music they have. We're going to need drums, guitars, and stuff like that. There are like specific instruments the Omanis play. So we're going to need funds for that too. And we're going to need funds for foods and drinks, catering. So since the Omanis, some of them are vegetarian and stuff like that, so we want to make it international. So we're going to cater from different restaurants. So all of these will like the total expense is 5,880, but half of the expenses we're gonna be responsible for. So we're listing paying like 1,000 to 3,000.
Awesome. So for reference, collaboration requests, you're allowed up to a maximum of $3,000. On the form, they wrote 2,000. So they're well within that number. At this point, we can open it up for questions for presenters. You can see all.
Yeah. So who's gonna receive the invitation? Because you said you're gonna put posters, but some people are gonna receive like the invitation cards. Like, what's your plan? Like, who's gonna get them?
Or do you mean how we're gonna give people the invitation cards?
Yeah, and then like who's gonna get that invitation? Like, are you gonna give for all students?
Yeah.
Or?
So for at this point, for the Omani Student Association, actually we have around 70 students. They all gonna be here. They all know friends. They all have relationships with many students here. So they're gonna give these invitations to their friends. As our students are working with the international office and many other departments here in the university, they already give the invitations for the deans for many colleges. As the Omani students, majoring in many different majors, we all in aviation management, so we already connect with our aviation instructors as we know many people out of the WMU community, so we talk to them as we know them from hospital or anywhere, and they were able to participate with us and help us.
Also, we might like have a booth on campus, and the invitation cards would be there, so anyone with the posters, like anyone who would be interested, grab an
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Sure, Senator Higgins.
So with the purchase or the rental of the instruments, are you also finding people to play them, or are they just there for like? How is that?
Absolutely. Like our Omani friends, they have their own musical instruments and they know how to play them. So if you want to try, absolutely, you can try.
Other questions? Hearing and seeing none, I'm going to ask you to please step out into the hallways and move into discussion. Thank you very much for presenting. And once you guys step out in the hallway, we'll go into discussion, all right? Perfect. All right, who has the first discussion point on the Amani National Day celebration? I am so sorry. You're both wearing white sweaters today. Anybody have a discussion point?
All I can say is I'm really excited for this. It's really cool to see new exposure to new cultures, especially coming to WMU. That was part of my goal of coming here. I'm super excited to see what we can do, especially helping and collaborating with WMU or WSA.
We can go to Speaker Shapiro first.
I think voting to support this group ties exactly into what we just voted on with the university bill. Step. It was a good first step in actually utilizing it. So I'd say I support.
I wasn't able to hear the whole thing, but from what it sounds like, I think this is an absolutely fantastic event. I'm really excited that this is something new that like we have never really heard of. So I think this would be a great opportunity for WSA to get its foot in the door with this one, and hopefully that opens it up to them wanting more collabs from us in the future, or, you know, having more of those opportunities to be able to experience that type of culture. So I'm all for this being a vote.
Any other discussion points? All right, so as this deals with money, we are unable to call consent. And I'd like to try something new with how we did voting, especially for money-related things. In the past, it's been like, if you're in favor, raise your hand, and then it takes forever to get to like, did we count that hand? Did we not? So we're going to try something different. It's a parliamentary way of voting called splitting the House. If you are in favor, it's off, so it shouldn't be causing it, but yeah, it's off. So if you are in favor of supporting this bill, I'm going to ask you to please stand and go towards that wall. If you are in opposition, please stand and go towards that wall. Cabinet, you guys get to stay seated because you don't get to vote.
It's a tough call.
I don't know. Can we count off? 3, 4, 5. All right, so I count 30 in favor, and, yeah, 0 opposed. So we can do, a slow clap on our way back to our seats and welcome them back into the room. We have agreed to support your guys' event, and we're really excited, looking forward to it, right? Thank you. All right, moving into the next item of business is we have our October birthdays. So I'd like to shout out Chris, our wonderful advisor. Senator Wynn, Senator Higgins, and Senator Brace. If you are not on this list, could you please raise your hand if you have a birthday in the month of October? All right, what's your name?
Joshville.
Are you a senator or representative? What order do you represent?
Student Veterans of America.
Awesome, thank you for your service and happy birthday. Everybody wants a birthday in October. Not seeing everyone. This is gonna be cheesy, but let's all sing everyone happy birthday as a month of birthday in the month of October. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everyone. Happy birthday to you. All right. Moving into oral remarks. Are there any oral remarks from individuals? Oh, no, you didn't. You want to give your update? Okay.
Sure, I guess.
That mic works.
Oh, perfect. This one?
Yeah, left one. No, now you're right.
I'm always right. Anyways, so I wanted to give you an update on the Vice President for Rules, Bylaws, and Administration. As some of you may know, we tried to nominate someone that is already on cabinet for the position. Based off of precedent, we've had somebody serve in the role, consecutively, and it's never been a problem. And so according to Article 4, Section 5 of the Constitution, I don't remember the wording, but it basically says that you can't serve in any 2 offices at the same time within the WSA Executive Cabinet, or Executive Cabinet members can't serve in any 2 offices concurrently. So with that being said, after we kind of tabled that to this meeting, I sent it off to the Judicial Council for review and did not hear back yet. So we are still in limbo waiting for that for the time being, but as soon as I hear something, I will be sure that you all are the first to know. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any 30-second shout outs or oral remarks from anyone in the audience? Yes, Vice President Ewing.
Right, so hey everybody, first I wanted to say that it was really good to hear all the things you guys have to say about what you want to teach on campus. That's what we love to hear, so let me know if you have anything else. I'm gonna take notes on everything that I heard and send it out to the respective people that I think are responsible for it. So let me know if you have anything else. And then also, Charles, VP for Community Involvement, and I have been working on, with a lot of other people, I've been working on the Mental Health Week, which is next week already. It's November 1st or 5th. So keep an eye out on social media for those events, and we're really excited. So tell all your friends to be at all the events.
Thank you very much. Are there any other oral remarks from the audience? Otherwise, I have one. Okay, Alexis, you can go first.
Hi everyone, sorry if you're tired of hearing me speak. The next week this time, so about like probably 4 hours before our meeting starts, this time next week, meeting with the Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion here at Western, Dr. Kenny Corporal. If you have any concerns, questions you want me to bring to the table, please let me know. With that being said, that's all that I've got.
Chris, do you have one?
Hey folks, this is awesome. Just really appreciated the engagement, the ideas that are flowing. It's really good to see student government at work. And so it's really, as you heard from Dr. Anderson, Dr. Russell, Dr. Ravendran, about the purpose of the student government. You heard from David Worthams. Just really hope that you're able to soak in the moment of what you're able to, what you're accomplishing. It's really big. We may be done with COVID, but COVID's not done with us. So it's really cool to kind of see organizations with your academic colleges, all of it. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Also, cabinet, stand up. Folks have been working really, really hard, y'all. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the side of the scenes, all the scenes. So, just really want to shout you all out. You're tired, you're passionate, all of it. I see it. And so, I don't get into the weird. They're part of the legislature. You know what I mean? Stand up. Thank you all. So, we're still learning in terms of different branches and different like that. So, I'm all of you all as elected positions. So in these elected positions here, you all really done working really hard. It's really cool to and an honor you all on staff. This is good. So I really hope that again, you as cabinet members still can have this. Maybe done with it, but it's not done. Legislature.
Thank you, Chris. Shout out to my cabinet friends. You guys are awesome.
Okay, so the Food Marketing Association is actually going to be leading a toy drive for the holidays this season. So my team is actually collecting boxes, and these boxes are going to be given out to anyone who might be interested in donating a toy to a child who's in need and may not have any toys that they could get as a present this year around the holiday time. And one of our professors always had done this in the past, so he kind of reached out to me and recommended that this is something I could take on. So this is something my team's going to be working on this semester, and we're hoping to have all the toys collected by Thanksgiving break. So if you're interested in donating a toy to a child in need, please reach out to me. I can get you one of those boxes, or we can coordinate another way to do this, but I just love to help out any kids who are in need right now, and especially around the holiday time. I know it's really hard on some of these young children.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colin Holzberger. I represent the Western Student Education Association. We will be having a general meeting on Thursday, October 28th at 5 p.m. via Zoom. So if any of you have any education friends, we're really looking for new members. COVID really hit us hard last year, so we're trying to regrow, rebranch, and recreate our entire organization. And we would really appreciate it if we could have some more people. Thank you.
Hi guys, so I'm Griffin Piginski, and I'm a student representative on both the International Education and Finance Councils at the Faculty Senate. And I just want to reach out to you guys really quick. If you guys have any ideas for like international education or how we can make it grow, or you guys have any ideas on how what changes you want to see on campus, or what you want to see invested, or what you want to see go, feel free to meet with me after this meeting. Also, another thing, like Lisa said earlier, we do have Mental Health Week next week, as I am on the community involvement committee. So I hope to see all of you there, as we are going to have events like therapy dogs and all that fun stuff. So I really encourage you guys to come out, get some of that stress out of your mind, and just get out and have some fun with us.
Any comments from the audience? Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Marisol Robles, and I'm a part of Delta Tau Lambda Sorority Incorporated. And next week we're going to be having our 5th annual Salute to Latinas. And at this event, we basically just recognize Latina women and women of color of our community that have stepped up and we just like to recognize their accomplishments and let them know that their work doesn't go unnoticed, and make sure that the youth is seeing everything that they're doing, and that way we are just kind of like showing them what we're doing. And It will be next week, November 4th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we'll be having guest speakers, performances, and food. And we would love to see all either of you like to come. We will be having, well, we do have an RSVP form on our Instagram account, which is WNU_DTL. And we're just super excited. This is our biggest event that we hold every year. And it just means a lot to us. And we'd love to see you all there so that you can be a part of it too.
Yes, my name is Gobilski, again, VP for Academic Affairs. Let me say, I had received an email from a few organizations representing students at the College of Aviation, requesting to be able to be involved in the process of selecting a dean for that college. I talked to Provost Bob about this. She said that while this is an extremely long process and probably not be touched for a while because they're still looking for deans at other colleges, there is always an open forum that any students are able to come to, but she would also be interested in having talks about a student-only forum. So if you would like to reach out to her about that directly, or send me any more emails, and I can bring up any more concerns or questions and try to get some logistics on that. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So by now, you probably know I'm Nick Hayes. I represent the Bronco Marching Band. How many of you, show of hands, came to either the homecoming game on October 16th or the Band Day game on September 25th? Yeah, so I just wanted to say a big shout out to WSA and specifically the allocations committee, because y'all helped to finance for a lot of the fun things that we did. We had almost 300 high schoolers from around the state join us on Band Day, that was on the 25th. And then we had Gold Company join us on homecoming to celebrate the 100th season of the marching band. And we did iterations of the fight song throughout the years. So I just want to say a big shout out to those who came, big shout out to those involved with helping with that process. And thank you so much for you guys come to the games.
Hi everyone, I'm Chang Kit. I'm the Education's Vice Chair. Because you mentioned about education, so I just got reminded. This Friday is our October deliberation. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have will be attending the deliberation, but if you are, please do attend on time. If you are late, you might have to get back. If any of your organization has not applied any funds, I highly encourage you to apply for funds. So just to clarify, you guys are Omani student organizations, correct? Have you guys applied any funds from WSA, like for education's committee specifically? Because I just checked our database and you guys were not in yet, so I do highly encourage any of the RSOs has not applied for events, operational, or conference, anything that's related, you guys can contact us on that.
When is the final deliberation?
Which is next month for November. So it's only the last week Friday of each month. So, but the week before it is the final time that you need to submit your budget. So 1 week earlier, the next week will be the deliberation. Yeah, so I do highly encourage all the RSOs to apply from us because it's your money at the end. Cool. Thank you.
No applause for Chang Kit.
Everybody, so for aviation and non-aviation students, College of Aviation is hosting the recognition dinner on November 5th, starting 5:30. So if anybody wants to go recognize our Hall of Honor, the Hall of Honor, as well as the Excellent Center University participant and scholarship awardees at Liberty College on November 5th. You can get tickets online. They're fairly reasonable way for you to work those in aviation. Yeah.
Are there any other oral remarks?
Sorry.
No, you went already, sorry.
This one's not for me, it's for a good cause. So the WMU Office of Sustainability is with We have the Haunted Gibbs Fest event on Friday, October 29th from 9:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's lots of various events we're doing up at Gibbs House. And if you guys have not had a chance to go check out Gibbs House, I highly recommend starting here. Lead Core has been working on some fun escape rooms along with CAB and the Office of Student Engagement as well. So we're super excited for it. There's links on Experience WMU if you guys are interested.
And pause. And I will say that Alexis and I last night helped out at the Gibbs House, and we did one of their escape rooms, and it was a really good time. So I highly encourage you to get out there. And after you go out to the Gibbs House on Friday, I highly encourage you all to stick around main campus at 7 p.m. We start WMU's first trick or treat event. Start at the flagpoles, the Office of Student Engagement. We will have the option, all the colleges have a QR code. You scan that, the answer is literally right on the table. So if you get it right, which I hope you would, because it's right there, you can be entered into a $50 bookstore gift card raffle. We're giving 3 of them away, but you have to go to all the tables to make sure you're eligible. If it rains, we'll be moving inside the Bernhardt Center, and look out on social media for that, but we're hoping it doesn't. Also, on November 4th, at 4 p.m. in the Bernhardt Center, put this in your calendars, guys. 4 p.m. in the main lobby in the Bernhardt Center, there is going to be a town hall. And the purpose of this town hall is they're going to be redoing, redesigning, remodeling, refurbishing from the flagpoles all the way up north through Henneke. So what you guys want to see on campus, literally see, because it's going to be construction work, talks about the flagpoles staying, do we move them, how do we encourage student gatherings in the middle of campus up there. All those things are going to be discussed, and you have the opportunity to ask questions and share your ideas at the town hall on November 4th at 4 p.m. in the main lobby at the Bernhardt Center. Are there any other oral remarks? Alrighty then. Are there any members from the public who have comments? None. Wonderful. Now we're going to go into joint session feedback. This is kind of your guys' chance to express how you guys thought today's meeting went. You guys have experienced it hybrid. Some of you have experienced it entirely virtual. This might be your first time experiencing a WSA meeting in person. So I'd love for you guys to just get and give your ideas, what you guys think went well, what you guys think could be improved. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for discussion on that. Afterwards, I'm going to ask all cabinet except the leaders of the legislature to step outside the room, and I will join you. You guys will have the ability to cast your votes in secret and without any, cabinet members watching. That way, it's 100% anonymous, 100% no prize pressure or anything like that. So, feedback. Anything you guys have to say about today, minus the fact that somehow our food order got screwed up, and I promise there'll be food in November.
I personally thought that this went really well because I feel like every time we have to do a hybrid meeting, there's a lot of technical issues. You can't really tell who's talking online to you. It's hard to kind of focus on all of the internal factors as well as external factors. So I personally really liked the setting of being completely in person and not having to worry about the virtual aspect as well.
Do you have something to check with anyone else? Anyone else have comments, questions, concerns about today's in-person joint session?
I really loved how it was run. We know how it goes trying to run an in-person hybrid meeting. It's pretty difficult. But I also understand how easy it is and how convenient it is for some of our folks to get online rather than in person because of class conflicts. Yes, that's my comment on that. But something I wanted to ask you as a representative, is there ever any ideas about reducing Robert's rules down to Bobby's rules, making it a little less formal? CC from Chris, I don't know if he's still in here, but that's what he used. A little less formal, so we can feel more, inept at getting these meetings done correctly and not doing things wrong. Because I know when I was a representative last year, when things like that happened, where we were making revisions and revisions, I got so confused and lost. It made it 10 times worse to me. So I don't know if there's anything you've thought about in that regard.
My hands are tied on that one. It's in our Constitution and bylaws. We have to follow the most current and up-to-date version of Robert's rules. So if a legislator would like to make a legislative bill to change that in the bylaws, that is an option. But otherwise, we do have to kind of keep it with Robert's rules. We try to relax it as much as we can, but we do our best.
Let's add a friendly amendment to that changing the Constitution requires both. The print.
Are there any other comments about how today's joint session of the legislature went? All right, I'm just gonna say that, like I said before, food will be at the ones in the future. I hope you guys can decide for yourselves whether that community building time, the being in person was worth it. At this point, I'm gonna ask anyone who has a vice president's position to step out into the hallway, or in a vice chair position as well, or a presidency position. To hand these out, and I'm joining you. All right, so I have a little slip of paper for legislators. Pretty straight, simple. Please select your joint session and meeting format preference, virtual only, hybrid, or in-person only. And then there's a couple lines for you to provide any feedback you may have. I'm gonna step outside after I hand these out. Please just hold it and leave it on your table. I'll give you guys a few minutes and then come back in. Otherwise, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all for coming in person, and thank you all for wearing pink as well.
Thank you. I was like, either Tommy sounds like you're going.
Does everyone have a voting paper?
I know.
Megan, I really like that idea about what we talked about, like, because I'm also an engineer.
Yeah.
She said it, but we feel very excluded.
Yes, same.
Up until like 2 weeks ago, the cat that came out to like talk to us. Now I'm here.
Yeah, the aviation campus, like our bus doesn't to like run very often. Because we use the college have to pay for it instead of like the university itself paying for it. So we can't even get out there all the time.
Yeah. I don't know how.
I'm a senator. No, just, so it's so, but it's just us right now.
I mean, like, I don't even know. It's like, oh, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any other 49 boxes, so I think fill 49 boxes. We love to collab with other people, I'm sure, so.
If anything else
Yeah. But just like our schedules are so packed, we haven't been able to figure it out. I just think the newsletter trying to get people to kind of, you can't avoid it to get a box. It's right there. No, they literally like, you can sit and it's like, oh, I can send like that. It's gonna be a while. So like, you're really, because I know Lacey posters.
What's up?
They literally had just like the plastic thing, like shield, so it has a lot of shit in it. I think we should grant it up there. Like, we're taking it home. I don't have to go with it home. Yeah, we gotta make it. More than yeah, I think right now we're just gonna keep going around the class. No, you're cool, me too. My environmental law class.
That's a no for me.
Yeah.
Hard.
What's your company? Oh, that would be so like. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. We're trying to do, like, send off, so let's figure out where we're gonna go. Last semester, we went to Airbnb. Yeah, basically, you have a
Oh, I'm sorry. Give it a WMU. Yeah, no, sorry. No, you're okay.
Hey, Dakota, do you have a minute?
Honestly, I'm not familiar. I thought I did. Oh, if it's from your budget, you're using your own budget. And so, yeah, I think that should work. Use your own budget.
You guys have a good night. I got head to another meeting.
Yeah, it can be like that, yeah.
So, something that, this is something that I have been working on with you all.
For what? Wait, where are you guys gonna be?
Like, this is really great process, like identifying who we are, what our values are, and how does that actually work forward.
She's already used questions. I don't know.
So, my priority is specifically just like structure. So,
Well, like, I already know, I just finished.
Basically, the way that they would work is.
Although, I gotta talk to the, I gotta leave it. I gotta talk to the.
After that, would be.
So you can buy it and then I can reimburse you. Or you can ask. I don't know. I think it's your event. Like, that's usually what I said is like, so you, I think you should get paid through like Western, so like Western reimbursement. You know, like how you got your financial aid.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah.
I think that's what it works. I haven't got reimbursed and I just know I put in your address. And I.
With.
No, you're gonna get taxed on it. You're not gonna get taxed on it. You're just getting money back.
I know that, but like, anything I get back is what?
Yeah, organizational culture, like, people love to be.
But it's not.
Either you can work.
I don't think the IRS is gonna get like $50. Well, did you mess up on your taxes?
Yeah, so solving that issue. And then.
Oh, okay, that's probably, okay. It's like you did probably, or like the normal, like the way. Yeah, okay, that's probably what it's like, honestly.
So I would send my
No, we're gonna send like you. I think what it does is it's like.
I like it. I do. It's a very big.
Yeah. But it's doable. It's just gonna take a lot.
So if you want to pay for that,
Yeah, so that's basically, I hope that my knowledge.
Yeah.
well, then we
I think we'll always.
can and buy that many donuts.
I like it.
But you're gonna freaking,
I just.
The why.
Okay.
like,
Which day of the week is best for you? I can't do my first, Thursday. You know, my house. Eight less than right here. Oh, I'm sure.
Thanks for talking with them, by the way. I was just trying my best.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Yes,
Coming
yep.
from like the Orso,
Bye.
WSA, just like as Orso representative, like I've been able to talk to people and representatives before me, and they just are like, the meetings are so long and so boring. So that is why I think a lot of outsiders don't like those. I don't know as much for the inside, but outside.
And I think there's ways to solve it, like, think about why I love. But what if we had it where allocations are eligible, if you're registered with the OSD, you're eligible, any of them. Then you own the house and you're eligible for stuff. Like it incentivizes, but it doesn't.
I can stay there.
You know what I mean? Like, there
We
has
have
to be
permission.
some, I think that's a good idea.
I don't know if that's helpful.
But also,
Wood is number 2.
I think,
That's why I don't confirm.
what's number 2? Governing process, yes, I think so too, that's what I was gonna say.
I think that also coming into the house is like so intimidating because you don't know what the hell everybody's saying. You don't know what Robert's rule of orders are, and then you have to figure it out, and you don't want to talk. Yeah, you're probably gonna a little bit. Yeah. And I think it's like kind of intimidating for people to talk because I think a lot of students don't know when it is their time to talk, when they're allowed to, when they're not allowed to, because of the Robert's rule of orders, and they don't want to say something wrong and be embarrassed, so instead they just don't. And even today, if they were making amendment.
Which we
Yeah.
my opinion, I'm like, you're just like.
The first thing I did in that room was come back and
Like, this is
concentrate
why
on
you
that,
take a
how
good
can you
thing,
get rid of
don't
cheese?
talk more.
I think this would be easy if we just raise it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I talked with Chris to figure out parlor shop. That's my biggest pet peeve is parlor was it's completely ridiculous.
Well,
They've done it
it
because-
keeps every progress point that we have.
But there's
And it's
another
very
way to do
privileged.
it. There's another way to do it. Again, that comes back to people aren't here to be a part of the. What's your point?
I don't think it's hard to find that kind of.
Yeah,
now
maybe
putting
we
that,
use
like, I
that,
don't think
probably
that's-
have some kind of
how
economic
the
benefit.
government act allow
I don't
us.
see it.
Yes.
So I talked to Chris about,
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Chris about Robert.
Question, we'll have basic questions, and then.
What we would do is at the beginning of the year, we can write some documents telling people, this is how we're going to go about this process, we're writing our own process.
Right.
We're redoing it and making it our
Do you have any
own.
problems with?
So you can still get structure, or you can still get voting where it's accurate, and you can get approval, and there can be problems, and we don't accept everything, but you can get all that stuff. It's not for that. It's not for WFI. You're stupid.
Well, I think the problem still is that it's self-reliant. And like, as someone who's constantly.
Is there like global beef?
Everyone
here wants Sweetwater. I've never heard.
And we don't.
Raise your hand if you know what Sweetwater is.
Like the donut shop?
Yeah.
There's no weekly house.
Sweetwater.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Doesn't think anybody knows what that is.
Oh, dude, everybody knows
I didn't say
everybody.
nobody knew what it was, I said I didn't know what it was.
That's the best
There's
donuts
no-
around here.
There's no
By-
set structure for like, and I think it'd be beneficial, like how your house is done. Regardless, if we rewrite one of our own Robert's rules, that's still something they need to learn, it's something that can be confusing.
But what I'm saying is you're not gonna write it like Robert's rules. You're gonna write it in an accessible way that actually works.
It's funny, because I understand that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is still something. So it means that it's still something
I
to
think
learn.
I think we're saying like, run it like a conversation.
Yes, we would make it as if no one has to learn anything. We
You
would
just said you're writing a document.
Because you have.
Because you have to have.
I think
something.
as far as it
Still
would go
something to
is like
learn.
voting.
Which
It
I
would
think
come
like
down to
the
voting.
issues with Robert's rules, not that I don't care if that's or not. The issue with Robert's rules is that people don't know. And we don't have any, they shouldn't have either. We don't have any structure for teaching anyone.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say, what I was trying to get at here was, what would happen is it would be run like a discussion, like Shana said, where we would be in charge of keeping that alive. They don't need to know anything.
Yeah.
They don't need to know. They'd be like, right now, we are gonna go into a vote on this document. So
All in
we'll still have to
favor.
have voting. We'll do all in favor, we'll do all opposed, we'll find out what's opposed, we'll do all of that still. But they don't need to know any of that. We can just explain that as part of our position.
Like, so like this instance there, you're saying, okay, here's the document, do we like how it's written, then we'll get an amendment.
Yep.
And people
Someone
be
says
able to
yes.
make amendments. You can do it different.
And then you could just be like, is anybody opposed to making this change? And if it, like, that's just very like easy language for anyone.
But if someone wants to edit the change, the proposed change, they don't have to go, yes, I want to. Yes, I can make it a vote. Yeah, I mean.
And then you
that's-
get
that's
stuff
a vote.
because you have like 5 things to approve.
Right, it gets a lot. You got lots of those, like, it's no offense, if our secretary of the house can't get it. I think it's well. Yeah, it's not.
Well, I gave up. I sat for sure and I started doing work. I said, I'm not even.
Yeah, we were both like, this just is like too much. We need to have a much like more streamlined process. Like, I think that if everybody felt more comfortable, people would be more engaged as well and actually be like passionate about what we're talking about. And like, as of right now, I feel like the people that are the most passionate are the people in Catholic. Because they know what's up and they know what's going on. And they've put in like the work to understand Robert's rules, but not everybody wants to put in the work to learn Robert's rules. And 2 cares, yeah, 2, they don't care, and 3, they might not have the time.
Sorry, Danielle, I did to you.
Well, yeah, I gotta head out soon. I know you wanted to talk to me. but I
Yeah,
have to,
I'll split it.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
you're coming Monday to Catholic.
Huh?
You're coming to Catholic Monday.
I can't, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll explain that, 'cause I'm on.
All right, cool, perfect. All right, see you then. See you guys.
Yeah.
See you.
Just we wanted to.
Yeah, what's up?
Anyways, I know that this is.
Wait, what?
Okay, so
The MLB.
for this
But I think it would
event,
start to operationalize.
Well, that's what this
Yeah.
is.
But you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
you
I
just
agree.
purchase it,
I feel
or
like you're
you
putting
can
back
ask
in
for
the
an
day.
invoice,
How much
and that
they
we don't
need
have
to
all
pay
the
for it,
upfront, but yes, when you
or how they
want
don't
to
have
contract
or they want something, they want more allocation.
That way we can
$1,000
pay for
per
it.
person.
That way, that we save these for it.
Yeah, you can buy like two things.
Or how
Like,
many
you
people-
can do things like that, like, I can only do so much. Y'all share the weight.
We can have Basil donuts, right? Like we can take 5.
Clean.
It needs to happen.